Hey, Craig.
A circle full of dogs. We put in work. Oh, baby, let's go out there with a bunch of crazy dogs.
Boom! What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. It's 7:30. Yeah, we're early because this is the new time slot. We're going to be here 7:30. Gives you back the rest of your night to go watch Monday Night Football, and you get to watch real football teams play. So we're going to talk a little bit about Giants Dallas. We're going to talk about the love of Daniel Jones. We're going to talk about all the great stuff that's in Giants land right now. We're going to talk about a fantasy football update from Spartan Mike because we have no idea what's going on. We got a new segment called Cash for Trash. You guys want to talk some shit? Be my guest. We will let you talk it. Chuck in a super sticker in the chat room, and we'll let anything you want to say be heard tonight. We're going to have also a segment at the end called Pick 'em, where I'm just going to throw it out to the guys, and they're going to be able to pick a topic that they want to talk about or vent. We'll talk about the pass rush. We'll talk about the tight end that we don't really have anymore that we thought we did. We'll talk about Jones missing, playing well, but not well enough to win. We'll talk about Tay Banks, and we'd love the real Tay Banks to stand up. Welcome, Giants Rush, here every Monday, 52 weeks of the year, talking Giants football. We're glad you're here to hang out with us. I see some of you guys piling in the room. I see Bill. I see Jay. And, let's get on it. Let's bring in the guys. Have no idea where Alex is, right? Alex wanted a group chat, which I made, and we still don't know where Alex is. So maybe he's on another time zone. So he's maybe messed up, and he's going to show up at 8:30 when the show's over. And, of course, I've got my former East Coast guys, which one is Spartan Mike. What's up, Mike?
Craig, what's going on, man?
Dude, you kept jumping in the show too early.
Well, I came in. I didn't realize that we were live already, so I was just kind of screwing around and then realized that we were live.
Yeah, stop messing around, dude. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? Right? But we're good, Spartan, because this is it. 7:30. We're live every Monday. And it's good to see you on Monday because I don't normally get to see you, every week. But we're bringing all the guns in, and I'm bringing my other former, I want to say more, you're not he's mid-Atlantic, right? He was a Jersey guy, New York guy. Now he's a Florida guy.
So, I mean, I'm still East Coast, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just Southern now.
You're no longer mid-Atlantic.
Yeah. No more Northeast. I'm Southeast.
But however,
yeah.
Sean was in the mid-Atlantic at the game on Thursday, hanging out with me and Chris Nails. We had a great time. It was good to see Shawnee up here hanging out with us. Celebrating his first year on Giants Rush, right?
Yeah, it was good to meet you guys in person, and I still showed up for the show even after meeting you guys in person. So all's good.
God, that's rough. That's rough.
It was an awesome time. You guys are great. It was great to meet both you and Chris. Hopefully, I'll get to meet others on the part of Rush. Spartan, maybe sometime we'll get to meet you.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen, man. We'll definitely
get these guys in town. Oh, look who it is! It's Mr. Group Chat himself. Let's.
Good, he showed up.
Look, I was just talking smack on you, dude. That I was like,
I was finishing up dinner, guys. The guy, I looked up, I was like, shit, I gotta go.
Yeah,
listen, you don't eat. You are way too skinny to prove to us that you actually eat. Don't lie. You were not
after the meals. It's a great way to lose pounds.
Fair enough. Because I was just saying, I was like, look, I gave the guy a group chat, right? So we could get him here on time, and he's not here. But I'm glad you're here, guys. Tons to talk about. Thanks for you guys piling in the room. I see Daniel. I see Bill. I see Jay, a bunch of you guys in here. I think it's going to take a little while for people to get used to us being at 7:30. Because normally at 8 o'clock, there's 20, 30, 40 of you guys all piling in. And I only see like a handful of you guys. So it's going to take some time. We'll get some feedback, right? To see if this is a good time slot. I just figured everybody could get on there on their night, get into Monday Night Football. So we're going to try this for a little bit. Gentlemen, Giants lose to the Dallas Cowboys. Interesting day from Jones. I wanted to actually look at his stats, right? Mm-hmm. And as we know, Jones goes 29 for 40 with 281 yards, which is a really good day in a normal football game, right? So then I got looked at, it's the most yards he's ever thrown in his career versus Dallas, right? So again, you're like, man, this is really good stuff. But he leaves on the table 3 vital throws he needed to make, which probably would have won the game. Now, Spartan Mike backed me up a little bit today. Kind of we're on the same page. Daniel Jones played well, just not well enough to win, right? And you need your starting quarterback to play well enough to win you the games when nothing else is going right. And that's where we have the crossroad, guys. And we're not going to start with Jones. I'm just want to acknowledge Mike's tweet today because we're all saying, like, he played well. But the guy that brings you to the playoffs, wins a bunch of playoff games, wins the NFC East, get you to the Super Bowl is the guy who wins that game, right? I know it's only 3 throws. Now, majority of the fan base hates Jones, so those 3, they're only concentrating on those 3 passes. So we're going to get into Jones, but the interesting thing is 29 for 40, 281, and the most yardage he's ever thrown against Dallas. Remember, we all, guys, Sean, 2 games last year, 40-0, 40-17.
Yep.
Ugly.
Very ugly. Extremely ugly.
All right. We're going to get into Jones on bit. And again, Trash for Cash is our new segment. I'm going to leave it open for the whole show. You got something to say where I normally maybe don't give you any love, or maybe I'm subjective to what I put on the screen. You want to throw in a super sticker in there? I'll put anything you want on the screen. I'll put up. Let me see. Come with your best takes. Now, tonight's show might be light. Again, because it's the first night at 7:30. All right, guys. Alex, going to start with you. I'm going to call this segment here, and I made a little title for it. Or is it just beep? Will the real Tay Banks stand up? Alex, what happened, dude? Like, I pounded the table for this cat. I thought he had a really good year last year. I thought he actually didn't get enough credit. And here I am now. I'm like, I just don't see it now. What's going on with Mr. Banks?
Like, maybe he got too much credit last year. Maybe we have to think about that. I think it was Bobby Skinner from Talking Giants said maybe he's just not a CB1. Maybe he's just he's a second quarterback. It's gonna be awesome as a CB2, but like, I don't know. I mean, like, we were hoping, we had a lot of high hopes that he was gonna be the guy there, but like, he was drafted like 25th?
Yep.
Wasn't like he was like a top 10 corner that was supposed to just be Darrelle Revis going out there. I still think he can grow. He's going to have to learn a lot. It takes a couple of years to kind of figure out the cornerback position in the NFL. He shows flashes, but he just absolutely gets cooked against number 1 wide receivers from time and time again. It's kind of frustrating to watch. And like, if just auto bet whoever the number 1 wide receiver is on a team, and you're probably going to just have them score touchdowns. That's what I've been doing, and it's been pretty profitable for me this season.
Damn, that hurts because Spartan, you know why that hurts? Because again, like, I really liked him at Maryland, and he seemed like he had a lot of swag. And I was like, for a team with no swag, this kid's bringing some swag, right? So I was like, yeah. And now, as Alex just alluded to, like, he just gets flat out cooked. Like I'm expecting him to make one big play. Now, I don't know. Jump in here. Tell me what you're seeing from Banks here. Is this just a growing pains thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the one thing that it kind of comes down to, and I've been more impressed with Bowen's defensive schemes as time has gone on here. But I do wonder if that kind of affects how he's performing out there, because he was looking like he was coming together pretty well last year under Wink's defense. And I'd have to look into that one more as to, what his strengths are in terms of coverage and versus what he's doing now. I think being left alone on an island with some of these top wide receivers has definitely been a challenge. I gave him the benefit of the doubt week 3 against Cleveland, but last week again, it was just he was way too far off the dude. And look, this is a really hard position to play in football, cornerback. I don't really expect any rookie cornerback to go out there and make a Pro Bowl their first year. I mean, that is really hard to do while you're adjusting the speed of these top receivers. Year 2, I mean, it doesn't come together that year quite often either. Year 3 is where it kind of hones in and you kind of expect them to ball out, but to seem far off those metrics of at least, honing down, some decent coverage, it's a shame to see a gap between that and where he is now. I mean, I think back to a guy like Corey Webster. Now, he may not have been the best cornerback in the football game, but that's kind of what I hope Banks would be with the 25th pick overall. And to just kind of see that, he might be leaning towards bust category is definitely concerning because you want to see more of these guys develop and show through. So I'll still hold out hope for him. But yeah, unfortunately, it's been a rough past couple of games.
If you look at the receivers he's gone against too, though, like he's gone against some pretty good wide receiver ones. And I get it. Like that's not making it an excuse 100%, but like Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb might be 1 and 2 in the league. So like two of the 4 games he's gone against the top 2 guys in the league, you could argue. So like I'll give him a little bit of a pass there. And Amari Cooper's not anything to frown about either.
No. And he's not matching up with these guys every single time. And let's be realistic. Jefferson only had 59 yards in game 1.
He did hold Jefferson. It was a terrific game.
Terry McLaurin didn't do shit, right? If I remember correctly. So, and the only time the problem is he gave up the long touchdown to Lamb, but Lamb was all over the field. So Banks wasn't matched up on him a lot. So people are looking at Lamb's numbers like, oh, Banks couldn't do anything. Well, he wasn't on Lamb as much as he was. And again, I had a bird's eye view from where I was sitting. Lamb was in the slot. He was all over the place. It was just that one touchdown that he gave up. And it was also, he had help over the top. So I believe they were in cover 2 at that moment. And Nubin took a very poor angle. He made a rookie mistake. So it's going to look like Banks. So people have to understand Banks is not a bust, but he's getting used to a new system. He was drafted for Wink's system, which was more press man. He's now playing more zone. So he's got to get used to that. But he's been playing decent enough. It's just people like, oh, he's not matched up on all the one receivers. But like you said, Alex, like Amari Cooper is no like snooze fest. Like he's a savvy veteran with good moves. He's a number 1 receiver that knows what he's doing. So it was a bad game. He didn't look into his head, look out of it the entire game. Like you didn't see that confidence like you would.
Yeah.
Again, the other games, he's done well. Again, we're just expecting certain things because we assume that he's playing man and locked up with every number 1 wide receiver, and he's not.
No, we see some of the big plays that are given up, and then we're like, oh, yeah, because you see Banks' jersey, and then we allude that he's consistently screwing up, and that's certainly not the case. And I will say this, too. Can I just throw this out there? And this is for all fans on Giants Twitter, because I said some tweet about, hey, the Giants have a pretty good roster all around, even though we're not winning games right now. I mean, we don't have that many holes, and somebody comes back like, no, we got a hole at linebacker, we got a hole this. People got to remember something. Just because these guys aren't all pros at their position doesn't mean we have a hole at that position. We can have
every team could arguably have a hole when you look
right. In that case, just about every team has holes all over the field. I mean, what you want is at least everybody can hold their water. Then you need, five dudes that are Pro Bowl, pro caliber, especially at high gear positions, right? Corner, edge, quarterback, all those.
And in fact, Spartan, again, we're locking step, you and I right now, because last night I said the same thing, that fans don't want progress. Fans don't want steps. They want wins. But in reality,
Super Bowl immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But in reality, the team is turning the corner. Again, I'm not saying that we're there. I'm just saying the team is turning the corner. Each week, the team is just getting a little bit better. It does take too long. I'm not endorsing this what we would call a heroin drip, right? We're not, we're not on board with that. But I am saying that the team is turning corner. It's heading in the right direction in a lot of areas. And everyone, this guy sucks, that guy sucks. They don't suck. No team in the NFL has a team of NFL Pro Bowlers. What they do is, as Mike just alluded to, is you got maybe 3 to 5. Then you got some A- B+ players that play above the X's and O's.
Yeah.
And then you got some role players, and they all work well together.
Yeah.
Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions. I get it. They they have the best quarterback in the game right now. That takes you a long ways. But like the Chiefs defense was kind of nowhere to be found. They won a Super Bowl, or they lost a Super Bowl without an offensive line and just figured out how to plug in and play with an offensive line. Like they've done so much. They've sort of got a receiver. They just have a bunch of fast guys that can catch the ball occasionally. But like they had the Kadarius Toney experiment. Like the Chiefs are a perfect example of like you don't have to have the best guy at every position. Just have a couple of guys.
A few straight up dominant guys. Obviously, it helps when that guy, one of them's the quarterback and the best. I mean, that's the
Cam Ward. Cam Ward will fix all those problems next year, right?
Well, let's digress a second. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, Mr. Alex J. Middleton. Do want to mention a couple things. Just seems to be in the water right now. Poor Sean lost his mom a couple weeks ago. Joe LPG lost his brother today. And Pete Rose just passed away. So like there's just, we send our prayers out to everybody. It's just us doing a silly, YouTube show here talking about sports because we love it. It's never easy, losing somebody. And for the most part, we never know what to say. You know what I mean? Like we don't know how to make it better, but for what it's worth, our thoughts are always with Sean and Joe's always great to us. So if you guys could give him a shout out and just let him know you're thinking of him, that would be great. It's tough to lose your mom. It's tough to lose your brother. It's tough to lose anybody. So for what it's worth.
Yeah. Hey, Craig, real quick. I don't know if you saw, and I don't know if he put it coming up, but Jay put up his $5 super sticker. So
yeah. Well, he's got so many comments in here, Sean. I don't know which.
I don't know which one he wanted. So maybe the Evan Neal's a bust. Maybe that one.
All right. So
that's
so
a
Jay
trash statement.
Jay, cash for like I said, cash for trash. But then Jay, who we love Jay. He dropped in 9 comments in a row. So I don't know which one was more. It might be this Jalen Ramsey thing. I'm going to try that.
Okay.
Let's put this up there. What do people think he's the next coming of Jalen Ramsey? He's a decent player, and that's it. So look, yes, Tay Banks is I think he's a good player, right? But as Alex alluded to, is you're talking about a CB2. The also thing that you guys probably don't pay any attention to, I don't know, regardless if I was any good or not, as a former DB, what I pay attention to is safeties and corners a lot. And I'll tell you, he's really good with everything in front of him. He reminds me of Mark Collins, right? Everything in front of him, he's all over you, right? But if he has to open up his hips and he actually has to run stride for stride with the guy down the field, he's behind. He's late. You know what I mean? But if it's in front of him, if it's 10 yards and under, 12 yards and under, he's either around the ball, he's on the receiver's back, he's in his hip pocket, he's putting a hand in there to make a play. The issue that people are finding out about Banks in the current state, I'm not saying he won't get better, but no, he's not Jalen Ramsey. And Jay has a point. It's just he's not even the second or third or fourth coming of Jalen Ramsey because Jalen Ramsey's more of a pass defending corner, right? Jalen Ramsey opens up and he'll run right down the field with you. Like Jalen Ramsey's okay with stuff in front of him, but he's like, hey man, you want to catch it in front of me? That's fine. You know what I mean? Where Banks is more like he wants to play that guy in front of him, right? He wants to be tough and play downhill. We just don't have a corner on the other side of the field either that can open up his hips and play. So so the Giants are in a unique spot that the CB1 probably isn't Banks. Maybe he develops, which is still super cool. But if he doesn't, he's not a bust. He's just a CB2, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Right?
He's really got to work.
He was a top 5 pick. He should have been.
Yeah, a top 5 pick he should have been, but he wasn't. Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that, you got it. Like if you're a top 5 guy, top 10 guy, okay, you can put the bust tag on right away.
Now,
but like,
I will say,
not here.
I will say this: in the current state of the New York Giants, we kind of need him to play like a CB1.
I would like that.
So,
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Bowen's got to figure that out. I don't know.
Especially if it's a scheme thing, right? It's kind of like, well, Bowen, listen, I mean, I get you have a scheme, but you do have to figure out how you're going to get the most out of your players. And, if you're not putting your cornerback in the best position possible, you got to reconsider.
Well, Henderson's got to get with him too, because he's there with guys a lot, but he doesn't get his head turned around, so he misses out on making plays. He doesn't eye the ball or eye the receiver's eyes to know to turn around and try to make a play on the ball. That's where he struggles.
That is 1,000% accurate because that's his thing. Like he's looking at the guy, and what happens, Spartan, is he lets the guy get too close to him, right? Before he opens up.
Yeah.
The guy's on top of him, and
It's
he's
a
like,
high
oh,
risk.
I got to open up, and that guy just blows right by him. He's got to be able to turn and open those hips way prior than he does now. He waits till the guy's right up on top of him, and then you're behind, right? The other thing is as Sean alluded to, Spartan, Nubin could have knocked him out on Thursday night. Literally would have been a earth-shattering play, would have made every highlight reel, probably would have got himself a $15,000 fine, but nobody would have went near Nubin again. Instead, Nubin took a flat route to the ball, and the dude ran right by him. So Bowen had the safety in the right spot. Nubin didn't make the play.
Oh, certainly in his case, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Tuto's in the room throwing up his super sticker. And my man talks half in Italian and half in English. So I'm throwing this up here, Tuto, because today is Cash for Trash. So I don't know what anything there that says, but I will tell you that I appreciate it.
Because translate
family, big.
Well, he's saluting you,
Yeah.
and then he says something about family and the grand
La
spectacle.
Cosa Nostra.
Yeah,
something about rugby in Italy.
Yeah, his Italian rugby team.
We love you, Tuto. You know that. He is a legend. Actually, Tuto, but like we don't even talk to Tuto on any other platform, but right here. So like he's become an OG, no doubt. Cash for Trash. You got something to say? I'll put anything on the screen. Just super sticker it up, and we will put anything you want. I'll give you all the love you want. All right, moving on from Tay Banks. You know, I think he's still going to be a good player, but we're hurting right now at the DB position. Amazing how you signed Adoree Jackson, then he's hurt 2 weeks later. All right. Spartan, starting with you on this one. Dude, I'm going to read you something, Spartan.
Yeah.
301 yards, 12 yards a catch, 161 yards, 7-point yards a catch, 2 touchdowns, 150 yards, 10 yards a catch, 167 yards, 12.8 yards a catch, 1 touchdown, 216 yards, 10.8 yards a catch, 132 yards, 10.2 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns, 160 yards, 10 yards a catch, 0 touchdowns. Do you have any idea what that short list I read you is?
I actually don't, to be honest with you.
A lot of numbers.
All right. It is a lot of numbers. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's your top 7 Spartan tight ends in the NFL right now. That is Goddard, Kittle, Ertz, Likely, Bowers, Kincaid, and Ferguson. Spartan, we don't even have a tight end with 50 yards. Like, we're not you. This is, and by the way, Spartan, this is a yes or no question. Do the Eagles have a good receiving core?
Do the Eagles have a good receiving core? Yeah, they have a good mix of guys they can get it to.
Do the 49ers have a good receiving core?
Yeah, they have a good mix.
Do the Ravens have a good receiving core?
Yes. Yeah, they have a wider mix.
Does Dallas have a good receiving core? Okay. I'm not, and I see you, Sean. I'm just saying a good receiving core. I'm not saying it's got to be. I'm making the point that these guys have good number 1s, 2s, and 3s, and they're still using the tight end. Spartan, why don't we use the tight end? Why doesn't Bellinger get on the field? Why can't Theo catch the damn ball? Like, where is Dave's? Like, we could say we don't need it, but all the teams in the NFL, the top teams that are winning right now with good receivers are using the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question there is obviously we would like to have a formidable tight end to get in there, step it up, and go out and just ball out, right? But a couple things here. I mean, with Bellinger, we're relying on, I forget what draft pick was. He was a 5th-round pick, right?
Yeah, he was 5, started off good, got his eye socket broken.
Yeah, and unfortunately, based on what all the pundits were saying, there wasn't really too much faith invested by the Giants in him going into this year. So, you have Theo Johnson out there quite often, and whether it's a strategy mix, like even though either Wink's not using him or he's just not good enough to be used. I don't really know what the case is, but now we have a 4th-round pick out there as a rookie. A lot of times 4th-round picks don't get starts right away. I would expect a guy of that stature and athletic ability to get more targets. So I don't really know why within Dable's playbook, the tight ends don't get greater share of responsibility. Now, obviously, we had Darren Waller last year, who was completely useless, to say nonetheless. But, look, I mean, when it comes to tight ends, it's one of those positions. If you don't have a good one, whatever. If you have a great one, though, you have such a strong, unrealized asset. Because if you look at some of those top teams in the 2010s, we're talking Patriots, we're talking the Chiefs. They had the best tight ends in football. And when you have a guy that's too big and powerful for defensive backs, but too fast for tight ends, you have
linebackers.
For linebackers, you have a very rare breed. And it is really hard to bring those guys down. So every time the Giants draft a tight end or get one, the hope is that they're going to be one of those guys, but they generally fall short in one of those metrics. Either they're big, they're not really that athletic, or they're athletic, but they don't really have any power, right? So it is disappointing that we haven't really showed out at that position. I would still mark it. Instead of marking it as a whole right now, if there's a rookie starting, I'm going to put a room for improvement, if you will. And I'm not going to concern myself too much with the position for this year. Hopefully Theo Johnson starts getting more touches, showing that he can handle. But yeah, until then, I mean, we're not getting great utilization. I know this is tough for you, Craig, because you like a big tight end, and I do too.
Yeah, it's killing me. Let's throw up Bill's comment because Bill's got a gripe. Thank you, Bill, for your donation. You donate every week anyway. We love you. My bitches, I hate these Monday Night Football doubleheaders, and I got to pick which game to watch. I always mute the TV and listen to someone on YouTube calling the game. Yeah, listen.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me Friday Night
Manning cast.
Just give us what we want.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about Manning cast, Bill? I mean, that's always
favorite.
a really good option. I also know that
there's no Manning cast with 2 games, I don't think.
Okay.
At least
but there's never like too much football is not a thing. So like more games is always good. Like the worst is the 3 o'clock window or 4 o'clock window, depending on where you are, when there's just like 3 games on and red zone can only go back and forth between 3 games.
Another game of
I just had 10 games. Like this isn't fair. Give me at least 4.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Spotlight on how bad the officiating is on Monday night when you have 2 Monday Night Football games. Boom.
Yeah. How about I was thinking they should just split the screen and go Peyton calls one game and Eli calls the other.
Just
so
I would like
get some action. Sean, are you wearing a new Giants Rush shirt?
I am, yeah. See?
Oh.
I just got mine today. I got to wash it first.
Where the hell's mine, Craig?
You got to wash it?
So here's a great ready. Now we got to throw Spartan Mike under the bus.
What the hell?
No shirt for Spartan. You were just like, no.
So in the group chat, I asked once, twice, 3 times for your size and your address, and everybody got back to me once, twice, 3 times, except for someone by the nickname of Spartan Mike.
Craig, you've been to my house before. You know where to send it to.
How am I going to?
You knew my size. I've purchased things off the website. And even though I completely dropped the ball on this, I don't really feel like taking responsibility right now.
I think everybody's at fault in this one.
Yeah.
Let's all take some responsibility for my failure.
By the way,
it's Daniel Jones's fault, by the way, that Spartan doesn't have a T-shirt.
Exactly. It's Daniel Jones's fault. And by the way, what he's saying to you is basically, I know where he lives in PA, that he shows up 4 times a year. The cat lives in Chicago. Okay. What do you call it, Shawnee? Any input? Because Spartan just really kind of broke that down pretty well. Any thoughts on jumping in here on a tight end?
Yeah, I mean, they targeted him a lot in week 1, and they kept screwing up. Like, if you run the wrong routes, can't catch the ball, your quarterback's not going to trust you, right? And they're focusing on blocking. So they ran it. They got it to him last week. But again, Johnson's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. He's a freak athlete, but he's going to make rookie mistakes. He's not going to read coverage right away. They're running option routes, and he's gone the wrong way a couple of times. And the second part of that is when you have WanDale and Nabers getting open as much as they do, give them the fucking ball. I don't care about the tight end. I really don't. And I love tight ends. But if they're getting open and until the tight end, maybe week 8, 7, 8, whatever, when Johnson's more comfortable and they're taking other guys away, all right, then you give him the ball. But until he proves he can run the right routes, I can't blame the quarterback for not throwing it to him, because the last thing you want to do is think he's going in and he goes out and you throw an interception to the linebacker, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it. And again, with Bellinger, I like him a lot. He just can't block. We saw that last year, and Daboll's putting a premium on blocking this year. So that's why Johnson's in as much as he is. So you live with
it is, and I appreciate that. It is interesting though, because like Bellinger came as a pass catching tight end. He only became a blocking tight end because they brought Waller in, who sucked balls, and then
we had no offensive line.
Yeah, and no offensive line. Yeah. So
that may change as the season goes along.
I just think right now, if you need, like I said, like look, we went to battle with Nabers and WanDale. They still show out, right? But down in the end zone, in the red zone. I'm even saying I don't care if they bring Hodgins out of off the practice squad because he's great. He's great in the red zone, or just other teams score touchdowns with their tight ends. You know what I mean?
Well, especially in the red zone, Craig. I mean, we're talking about here's a team that struggles to score in the red zone. I mean, you would love to see that opportunity, but to Sean's point, I mean, if they're just not playing up to expectations, we have seen the balls go their way. It's like, well, they don't want to risk it to a guy that's got a low likelihood of catching it. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, they threw it to him in the Cleveland game, right? It wasn't a great throw, but it was a catchable ball, and he didn't make that catch. Yeah. So again, there was times they've given it to him. He's just got to live with the growing pains out of a rookie. That's just it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
We had like Larry Donnell making catches for us in big games. Didn't he beat the 49ers in like a last-second catch from Eli? And he's our guy.
And then the next week,
caught another ball again. He
every tight end since Shockey, we're like, he's it. We found our fucking guy, top of the league tight end. And then it's just like, nah. Kevin Boss had a run, but he was never a stats guy.
He was a strong tight end. But what happened? It was weird.
That Super Bowl run.
3 tight ends that all looked like each other, like Buzz,
Boss
blonde hair,
and Ballard, and then
Beckham,
Pasco, right?
Ballard.
Yeah, and listen,
they all look like each other.
And
Martellus Bennett, I thought was a stud when we got him. I was like, oh, dude, Dallas just didn't figure out his potential. We got this, and then he did nothing.
Wait, who didn't do nothing? Wait, who did you say?
Martellus Bennett.
Oh yeah, the Rainbow Warrior. Yeah, he was whacked, dude. He was on mushrooms or something.
And then we had Ingram, who I guess made a Pro Bowl somehow under our tenure here, and of course he's doing pretty well in Jacksonville. But again, like. Ever talk about guys not showing up at the right time? I mean, good Lord, how many drop balls did that dude have? He had the New York media ringing in his ears.
I hated that man.
He had the New York media ringing in his ears, man.
Well, let's keep Slayton that one year. Good God, neither one of
them. They all had some issues. I think we do have. I mean, Theo Johnson didn't get a lot of balls in Penn State. He's got good hands. Penn State doesn't throw the ball a lot, and they don't throw to the tight end a lot. So I hope it develops. Like I said, I rambled off 7 tight ends that are just crushing it right now. And I think that the Giants are going to, at some point, going to have to give Nabers and WanDale a break, which we're going to get to right now. Sean, going to start with you. All right, so let me roll this out for you. Let's just be straight because the numbers are straight and easy. Yep. Right, for yards right now, Nabers is number 2 in the league. Okay. Yep.
Say it again, Craig.
In the league, in the NFL, Nabers is number 2 with 386 yards receiving.
That's not just rookies either. That's the entire league.
Entire league. He is also number 1 in receptions with 35. He is number 1 with targets at 52. Okay, so the guy is really grinding.
Wait, can you just say this? Just the Giants have their wide receiver 1. Just say it.
Of course he's the number 1. Here's the thing.
It didn't sound that sexy when you said it like
He's not going to last. He's not going to last. And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, boy.
Don't.
It is what it is, dude. I mean, it's about how they're using him. Okay. In the league, right? The big names, Collins, Lamb, Cooper, Jefferson, Pickens, Harrison, Jennings, Metcalf, Chase, they're all averaging 14 yards, 15, 16, 17 yards a catch. If you want to go through it, CeeDee Lamb is 15.8. Collins is 16.3. Cooper's 9.3. He's the only one that's under Nabers. Jefferson 17.9. Pickens 14.2. Harrison 16.2. Jennings 17. Metcalf 15.4. Chase 15.8. Nabers is averaging 11 yards a catch. Yep. So here's a guy that is being used a lot for these little catches. And he's going to get beat up in the long run. He leads targets, receptions, and he's number 2 in yards. I'm just being as blunt and honestly as I can. Dave's just got to figure out how to get this guy in space and throw the ball down the lot. We already know we're going to get into the Jones thing. Not a problem. I'm making a point that he will not last at 11 yards a catch. Okay. He's not a big dude. He's going to take a lot of beating, if he's catching 10 to 11 yards a catch. I'm just saying, it's just a matter of fact, because look at the difference. He's passed the second guy by 10 catches. I mean, he is going to outpace everyone for targets and catches.
Yeah. Craig,
yeah.
Wait, who'd you want to go to first?
I mean,
all right.
My bad.
Well, I was noticing this the other day, and look, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know there's a strategy behind it. We are getting yards, but to your point, there were some plays where he got tossed the ball, and he was going to get rocked. I mean, even though it might have been a good play, we may have even gotten the first down. You hold your breath because he's right there in front of a DB, and Tom Brady talked about that back in the 2000s when he went against Ray Lewis. He would sometimes opt to not throw his wide receivers the ball if there was a chance that they were about to get rocked by him, just depending on how the field was set up. Now, granted, we got to get yards, we got to progress, everything like that. But I'm with you. We got to find ways to succeed past the sticks. And maybe you want to get to that separately. I'm happy to address that issue because I had a severe issue with the past the sticks issue. And it's a little bit beyond just, Malik Nabers and throwing short and stuff like that because we're talking about him. But yes, to your point, I would like to see them have a deeper offense. Back when we had Eli Manning in the day, we were going much deeper than we traditionally do now. And I don't know what that's a function of. I really don't. We're getting enough time. The whole line's giving them time, so I don't really understand it.
Well, and Sean, it's going to take some scheming, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to figure it out. As again, just so you know, Sean, that what's wild about Nabers' stats, ready for this one? WanDale Robinson is number 2 in the NFL for targets and number 4 for receptions.
Yep.
So now I've got, as Spartan Mike alluded to, my number 1 and my number 2 are both being played like slot receivers. Okay. They are both taking a lot of hits underneath.
Yeah. Well, the issue, there's a couple of things. Number one, the defenses they're taking away the deep ball this year more than anything else. So Lamb and those guys are getting it in positions where their yards per catch is going to be because they're taking it on long runs. We saw that happen against the Giants. The issue that I have with the usage of Nabers is they're not getting him that slant option to be able to catch it and take it to the house or get big yardage. They're using him a lot on digs, on outs, longer routes like that, or the quick curls, right? So that's the issue. I would love for them to make that adjustment and hit him on a quick slant to utilize his speed, have him beat the receivers. The other point real quick that Spartan, you were bringing up about short of the sticks, they're not running curl routes short of the sticks. This is a yak offense. So what they're trying to do is lead the receivers short of the first down yardage and let them outrun the DB. The problem,
but it's not working. I mean, that's my biggest problem.
Well,
with
against
it,
right? Dallas, it wasn't because Dallas made great tackles. So they're going to have to readjust again. There were times
you got to assume that's going to happen, though.
Well, until it does. And again, they did make good yardage. WanDale made some tackles, some DBs miss on tackles, got the first down. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm telling you the concept of it. They're trying to hit them in stride, WanDale at least, on slants and have him run by that DB. Dallas just made great tackles. Like you see our DBs that miss tackles. So that's the concept. They're going to have to adjust. I agree with you. I'm just putting it out there of what the mindset is of they're not running a 5-yard hook when it's 3rd and 6. They're running a 5-yard slant when it's 3rd and 6. That's
they did a couple curl routes the other night. Look,
there was an out. Yeah, there was one out. But again,
they got to the red zone and they fell short of the sticks. I think there was one that blew up because of penalties, but
yeah, there's a couple for sure.
They have to. If you're going to get to the red zone, and Craig, I'm sorry if you wanted to save this for later, but this is probably my biggest frustration with the offense the other night. You got to go over the sticks. There's no reason if you're going to go for a 4-yard pass, you can go for a 6-yard pass. And right now, I think Daniel Jones, I had it, his yard, and this isn't even a knock on Jones because this is probably the intended receiver, but his yards per catch. So when he throws and gets a completion, when he gets one of those successful passes off, it's the 5th lowest passing yards on average in the NFL. So they do have to go past the sticks at some point here because if it's not working, then there you go. You have your answer. You're not going to be able to get points.
Hence
But I do
why
wanna
I'm
hear you
talking
guys'
about
thoughts.
Nabers. That's hence why Spartan of Nabers catching at 11 yards when all his peers are above 15. Like they need to start getting guys in space downfield because they're taking too many hits on too many short routes. Now, this is a kind of knock on Nabers, but the coaching staff needs to step up because he is not coming back to the ball. All right. He's standing and catching that ball and getting immediate contact. Right. And they're throwing his ass around.
I wanted to ask this, guys.
But
Have any of you been
of times
impressed by
he
the?
stays away from contact and gets extra
Yeah.
yardage. So I don't agree with that. He's missing a lot of contact, and he spins.
And then
he does that. And again, Dallas.
a lot of balls are underthrown too. A lot like that. He broke that dude's ankles on Thursday night and had to come back 6-7 yards to catch a ball that was underthrown to him. Where that was a touchdown play if it's a solid ball to him. Like he's having to come back to some balls right now. But I think a little bit of it is quarterback issue. I understand your concerned with that, but it's like, I mean, you just got to play with your superstar where you can play with your superstar and do what he can do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Can I
And
ask
know we
you
can
guys,
figure that out.
have any of you been impressed by the wide receiver route running? Because I have to be honest with you, I don't really know if it's been that impressive across the board for the
I like
Giants.
the first down.
It has, and they're getting open. I mean, that's the key. Like
I'm not feeling that with
It's not
WanDale.
pretty.
WanDale's getting open. Look at how many catches and
hold
yards
on.
he had. How can you say
The route opening versus getting open.
Time out.
Well, he's getting open. That's why they're using him.
Hold up.
Him and Nabers only.
Hold up.
Go ahead, Craig.
Go ahead, Sean. One at a time.
No, I'm just saying he's getting open. His route running is really good, and he gets open. And he's a slot receiver, but he's getting open. He got open the other night over the middle late in the game and dropped the damn ball, right? So he gets open. He absolutely gets open. His route running is good. Nabers' route running is really good. Now, Slayton, that's a different story. Some of the other guys, that's a different story. But our top two guys, there's a reason why they're number 2 and number 4, whatever you said, Greg, 1 and 4, 2 and 4 in the league, because they get open. Their route running is really, really freaking good. Mm-hmm. You don't get open if you can't run routes in this league.
I'll also address that too, Mike. So there's 2 things going on right now, right? Again, they're not going past 20 yards, right? Jones went 7 for 14 above 10-yard passes, okay? They're not asking the receivers to run deep routes, first of all, right? But they're getting open in the middle of the field, right? So you're seeing a one-cut route. What you're used to seeing, which is, Mike, and I'll use the word impressive, is one, Hodgins runs really good routes. Odell Beckham ran really good routes.
Hodgins ran great routes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're looking for what Chase does, right? Or you're looking for what Jefferson does, where they run like a stick route or a 2-move stick route. Like right now, I'm no genius. I'm just trying to look up. When I analyze the offense, it's a one-cut route because they're both getting open underneath, right? The reason what you want to see is you want to see him head fake in, head fake out, get the guy turned around.
Yeah, well, especially follow the steps to where the ball is intended to go, right? I mean, especially with the expectations.
My point is that we're not running development routes. We're getting the ball into space and we're going underneath, outside. We're not looking for that. Even in the home run routes, they're shitty routes. They're shitty calls.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah.
Like you're just not getting now. I think it will come in time. Maybe with Dave's calling the plays, maybe maturation process and Nabers. I'm just saying, from an analytical standpoint, they're not being required to run 2-move stick routes. They are literally going to beat your man one-on-one, sit at 13, sit at 8, boom, boom, boom.
Deliver.
And it's working.
Create
right?
space.
It's working.
We definitely have more space. There's no doubt about that.
The hard issue is what we were just talking about. Alex is like, hey, look, we got these guys. We're going with it. The hard part, the other side of that coin, Spartan, is I don't know how long that will last. They're going to take a lot of beating underneath, right?
And I will say this. I mean, what's the status on Malik? I know we have 10 days, but truth be told, I really don't think he should start if he's not feeling 100%. I mean, I really hope they don't rush him back.
Let me give a shout out to everybody that's in the room because a bunch of guys came in. I didn't say hello to what's up, Jay. What's up, Daniel? There's Bill's in room. Of course, Tuto's here. He's gotten suspended again. Tuco, stop hitting guys after the. If you are a actual Italian rugby player, we would appreciate it if you stop hitting people after the whistle. If you don't believe me, watch Google or look up Antrell Roll's latest Instagram rant about what happened in his U9 football game, Tuto, and you will learn not to hit after the whistle. Who else is in here? The goofball guys are in here. Judy's guys, what's up, guys? Glad you guys popped in. Mark B's in the room. What's up, Mark? Here, look, here's Tuto's. I told you I'd put everybody who dropped the sticker in. Suspended 2 times. Don't hit after the whistle. It's a dirty play, dude. Come on now. You know better. You're like 90. And Cold's in the room too. What's up, Cold? So glad to see you guys in the comments. Overall,
one other thing real quick.
Smart,
if you haven't looked at the route that the move that Nabers put on that ball, when he got open early, the first series of the game, when he got open deep, look at the move that he put on that DB. And that's what we're talking about. He's got to create separation. So he's putting moves. They're fair. Doing the right things. It's just to create separation. But watch that if you haven't seen it. That may think you differently of the route that he ran.
So because Jay is such a punk, right? And really just a punk, goes out of his way to make us look bad. We're gonna have to flip a coin if we should ban him or should we? We should just call him out that he's lonely, so he needs us. How do we approach constantly, the negativity from Jay? So
he's got to just donate more money.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Every negative comment he makes, he's got to pay
away your
for a negative comment. He was sort of the inspiration for Trash for Cash without giving him credit.
We thought it would be smart people.
It depends on the day. He's smart sometimes. He's smart not.
No, he's a smart ass. He's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Every time you want to say something negative, Jay, you got to make a donation. There you go.
He could say it, we just won't put it up there because he's off the meds. But usually he's not off his meds till 9 o'clock. He's off his meds early right now. All right, Alex. Let me ask you a question about the defense, because right now we don't have a pass rush again. And this pass rush was supposed to be elite, right? We were like, hey, let's pay some money to Dex, which he deserves every dollar he gets. Paid all that money for Burns, made a trade, did all this stuff. How do we inspire Thibodeau and Burns to just somehow play above the X's and O's? Because right now it's like they're just showing up.
Well, I think you're forgetting that Thibodeau had a sack, and that was our first sack of Dak Prescott in like 4 games, which is pretty crazy and stupid and a really terrible stat. But we got 1 sack, so maybe we build off of that. That's all I don't know. I'd like more sacks, obviously.
Where are they?
Just rush better. That's what I would say. Do the rush, do the sack play more often. They don't do that. They need to call that.
Dude, that's terrible.
How many sacks did the defense have against Cleveland? How many sacks did the defense have?
Yeah, that's the point, is that we need the consistency if you're going to win.
Just go back to 8. What if we did 4 a week? If we just could do 4 a week, I'd be fine with 4 sacks.
Dak's hard to sack. We all know that.
Yeah, and we've struggled to get. That was the first time in years that we got a sack on him, apparently.
Yeah. And and Thibodeau had 5 pressures, I think, and 4 hurries, and it was stop doing this. You complain about
taking away Dak.
He shows up on Thursday night against a really good team, has a really good outing, and you're doing this.
You just don't like Kayvon. You like Isaiah Hodgins. It's your guys. We all got guys. We all got our guys.
Can I say one thing, Craig? Because I did see Carl Banks talk about this with Burns, that with what the Cowboys were doing, they were getting the snap off so quick with their quick slants, that if you actually go back and snap by snap, there weren't that many opportunities for him to get a full-on sack with the way that they were playing their offense. Now, look, for his price tag, it's been the same issue with a lot of the big dollar guys with the Giants. It's they get their paid, and it's they might be playing fine. They're not playing unstoppable like we always hope, right? So I get the pain there. Another thing was they were doubling and tripling Dex. Kind of took him out of the game.
Broke some kind of crazy record. How many times? What the percentage was? It was 86% or something.
80% double team on decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching
80%.
him against double teams though is one of my favorite things in a Giants game because a lot of times we're out of it, but like teams just are like, we got double, triple team Dex, and Dex still almost beats the double and triple team every single time because he's just a dog. Like
Yeah.
he's so fun to watch.
And Burns was
almost-
getting in
I'm
the
almost at
backfield. He was getting in the backfield, but again, Dak got rid of it so damn quick, and he was setting the edge. He did what he needed to do. Like if you just look at the stats, you're not going to see it. But if you look at what he's doing, he's a menace off the
presence is
line.
felt.
He was slick off
Yeah.
the line. Like he's
Dexter?
doing some things.
Dexter or Tibbs?
No, Burns. Burns. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Burns.
In fact, I'll even go as far to say, like, I would, and it might, we talked about this earlier about Bowen getting used to the personnel he has, right?
Yeah.
Because what I'm starting to notice is, like, for instance, like, and I think Spartan alluded to this before, like Kayvon's really good inside. He's got a great inside move, but as an outside backer, he's got a whole containment and he gets bagged on it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, I'd like to see them entertain the NASCAR stuff where you put Burns and Thibodeau on the same side, right? Because Thibodeau is just like, he just doesn't excel on the outside, but his inside pass rush move is really, really good.
You wouldn't think
But
it's that good with what like the kind of build he has, right? But it is actually phenomenal, and that's what he did to get the sack.
Yeah, and again, and that's the thing. He's just not, either he's not physical or built. He doesn't contain the edge. I mean, if you sit there and you watch the game, he just doesn't do it. So they ought to just use what he's really good at, right? And that's an inside pass rush move. I'd like to see him put Burns. I mean, they've done it before, right? Not with Burns and Tibbs, but put Burns and Tibbs on the like on the same side. You know what I mean?
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I mean, look, because now you get two fast guys on the outside.
Yes,
That'd be incredible.
Because Burns does contain.
Right.
Burns can contain while Tibbs can go inside, right?
Well,
Like, so I like to see it.
You need Aziz to keep playing the way he's playing, and then you can do that because you can put him on the other edge, and then you have Tibbs and Burns next to each other.
And there's your NASCAR.
Get rid of one of the DNs, right? In the 3-4 defense between.
Well,
Get rid of.
Back in the day, that's what they used to do, right? The NASCAR package. They would take the heavy guys off the field, except for one big guy in the middle, and rush all the fast guys.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll see.
So, Sean, Alex was saying, like, hey, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how you manufacture a pass rush, but it's there, Sean. Like we've seen it, right? And Bowen, I thought he was, by the way, if you didn't see him, he was so pumped. He was like on the field, high-fiving his guys, a couple times. So, like, I think Bowen's getting a good rapport with his players.
Yeah.
I mean,
And look, guys,
we held the Cowboys to 20 points. We held the Cowboys to 20 points. That's not a moral victory. That is just facts. We held the Cowboys to 20 points. They still have as down as they are. They still got weapons on offense. They're more down defensively than they are offensively. The line is down a little bit, but they still have weapons. They still have Dak, and we held them to 20 points. And one of those was a 62-yard field goal. So the defense did his job, and the guy kicks a 62-yard field goal. So you can't be upset over that.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about. There's a lot of talk about either moving the crossbar up or making the goalpost skinnier because the defense does the job, but these kickers now have no problem kicking 60 yards. So even when you do your job, you still get burned.
Right.
And they were talking about the kickoff rules now where, like, if you give them the ball at the 35, like with Brandon Aubrey, you got to go like 40 yards. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. And
Yeah,
then they
guys,
also did
let's
have a
just hold
touchdown
it.
that there was a hold on that probably should have. I felt like that was a quick flag.
Well, that Alex, I guarantee that rule's going to change. It's really ridiculous right now. Like, it's just the rule, the new thing doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm saying, like, if you like hindsight, we had a play that probably changed the court. It could have been a scoring drive. We would maybe at least a field goal drive would have changed the end of the game for us. Maybe not saying that was 100% how it would have gone, but like you could argue that they took 7 points off the board for us and gave 7 points to them. So like,
all right, I got to throw Tuto's trash up here. Gotta do what we gotta do. We're losing matches anyway. Opposing offenses were bullying and taunting my mates. Oh, you're talking about you. I thought you were talking about the Giants, Tuto. Come on now.
Hey, you said anything. You paid $10 to say that, man.
Yep. I had to plow 2 defenders and card them. All right, dude. All right, I got you. Yeah, don't let your boys get bullied. I get it.
Can I say something real quick, Craig?
Of course.
If you actually look at the points per game given up by the Giants, and I had gripes with the yards, and don't get me wrong, if we're giving up tons of yards and it's like the last minute drive, that is a fault of the system. But if you look at the points per game, I mean, the Giants have done a pretty good job on defense just in terms of that alone. There's still obviously flaws on the defense, but honestly, 21 points to the Vikings. The one touchdown was a kick return, a pick six. 21 to Washington, all field goals. 15 to the Browns. 22 Dallas is all pretty impressive. Now, great, in two of those games, okay, the Cowboys needed to score another touchdown last week if they were in that situation. I'm sure they could have. Minnesota, same thing, but it's pretty good overall.
All right.
There's positive to take from it for sure.
Yeah. And I still think they were gifted a touchdown by picking up that flag. There was 3 penalties on the same play.
Ridiculous.
So, right. So that may have been another field goal. So there's things, and they're young. Again, the whole entire Giants team, we're playing the most rookies out of anybody in the NFL. So you're going to
miss Phillips too.
Yeah, we had no Phillips and no Adoree. So that's going to make a difference coming back for that defense as well. And my man Flott has been playing better 3 weeks in a row now. He has played well.
He does do one or two plays a game where you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
But other than that, you are absolutely right, because there's so many times he'll bat away a ball or something. We're like, all right, that's our guy. Let's go.
He got mugged on that one play, and they didn't even
got hurt.
Exactly.
Most of the time, though, I'm being like, okay, Flott. Like, yeah, there's a couple of times where you just expect him to get beat on those, but then he's been impressive.
They threw it up on the big screen. He got mugged on that one play.
Not only did he get outmaneuvered on the route, he also flopped on the tackle execution. So it's like, woo, that wasn't very good. But yes, overall, he doesn't do that very often. Just twice a game.
All right, Sean, starting with you, like what happened to what in the world happened to our rushing attack? We were kind of catching a little fire, and then all of a sudden that Dallas defense line just stuffed our O-line.
Well, again, like I said, it's not. I don't think it was stuffed. There was guys getting there. They just got rid of it quick. Everything was like 3 and 5.
The rush, not the pass rush. Our rushing offense.
Oh, rushing offense.
Our rushing offense got moving on. Tied a bow on the pass rush. The pass rush needs to step up. We're not going to win. However, on the other side of the ball, if we can't run it, we're at a disadvantage. And we're, what do we have? 26 yards.
24 yards on 26 attempts.
Yeah, that can't happen.
No, can't happen. So, yeah, I think it was, well, number one, there was times where Singletary got too cute. He didn't hit the hole like he should have. He was trying to bounce it out too much, which against the Cowboys with their speed, that's the worst thing you can be doing. I don't know. I saw some things that they were trying, more zone blocking schemes as opposed to duo schemes. So that could have had something to do with it. And let's be real. Dallas was primed to stop the run. I think we should have ran the ball less than what we did, a lot less, because Dallas, there was no way in hell they were going to give up rushing yardage to us because of what they did the last 3 weeks. They were honed in on stopping the damn run. So I think that was the one thing where you still got to run it, don't get me wrong, but instead of running it 26 times or 24 times, we run it 18 times, 17 times, somewhere in that range. So, but again, I don't think they hit the hole quick. And Dallas just they were primed to stop that run. Wouldn't have mattered, I don't think.
I know Bill's comment here is like we kept trying to plow it up the middle. The interesting thing about this, Bill, is, and I'm more than willing to be wrong, but Montgomery Singletary is not a stretch back. Like he's great at hitting the A gap and the B gap and getting at the second level, hitting the linebacker or up on the safety. He's not great in the stretch where like Barkley was. And that's the problem I think we're also having right now. And Sean could probably jump in here more because he's the star running back on the squad. But like, we don't have a big bruising back like Henry or Jacobs or, all our backs are small and fast and, they get through the hole. Right. I don't know. I haven't seen Singletary be a great stretch back. So I don't know. Go ahead, Sean. I'll let you start off with that.
No, he's not. I mean, it's he's got to be the one. He's got to hit the hole. And now, if it's again, you're not going to run sweeps or anything, but you can run off the edge with him a little bit. But it's got to be attacking the edge. It's got to be quick there. He's got to get through the hole, and then he's got to make a man miss. If he tries to bounce it out, that's not just his style. That's not his style at all. So Yeah, it was a combination of things of what Dallas was doing to stop the run. We ran a little bit too much, and Singletary was doing things that he doesn't normally do. For whatever reason, he was trying to bounce it outside a lot, and there was holes there. He just was not seeing them. So,
Spartan Mike, this goes right for you because Sean's my running back. You're my lineman at 6'5" that you are.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of thinking maybe they'd make adjustments and start pulling people. What do the Eagles do best? They pull Kelsey when he was there. They pull their guards there. Like I was thinking.
Why
hey,
didn't the Eagles do that yesterday?
What's that?
Why didn't the Eagles do that yesterday?
Well, Kelsey retired.
Because they suck. That's why,
They
baby.
have Saquon. They have Saquon. Just hand the ball to Saquon. That was it. They fixed it.
No, it's
$12 million a year.
Alex, I tell you, it's great too because it still goes with the same theme: is that Jalen Hurts can't play if he doesn't have AJ Brown in the lineup. If AJ Brown's not there,
well, I thought that was it. They didn't need anything else.
no AJ.
Well,
no,
what, they realized
no
that having a star
they have
running back
Saquon and Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
All true, by the way. All true though. Dallas Goedert had a great.
Saquon probably thought he was back in the Giants again with that lineup out there.
I loved it.
Without a
I
doubt.
hope that
But
happens over
What was your
and over.
question, Craig?
Spartan, but kicking it back to you is like there's got to be value in pulling a center or pulling a guard, right? Because we don't operate with a fullback. Singletary's not a big dude. Like, would that have helped at all? If maybe our lines improved, one of these guys has got to be able to pull. No,
You don't see it very often with the Giants offense, that's for sure. You know, and back when we had those runs, even with Brandon Jacobs and Bradshaw, especially Bradshaw, I mean, those offensive guards were pulling pretty often. Sometimes even, it was a little bit weird, but the tackle would even pull to the left side. And I wish we had Hugh on the show to talk about this because that is something they could definitely look into for the run game because it did look pretty simple. And Sean had a great point, and I've been seeing this too. The Cowboys prioritize stopping the run game, A, because they've been doing a poor job of it, but B, their thought was, you know, if we can press the run game, we'll take our chances against the pass. They were getting burnt by our pass game for sure, but obviously it didn't translate to points, right? So, but 29 points or 29 yards throughout the game is pretty embarrassing. So they do have to figure out ways to find more creativity within the run game to enable them to get more yards. And I agree to your point. Singletary's more of a crash through guy. You got to just kind of lower it and try to get a couple more yards. You can't stutter step. That was a problem I always had with Saquon here, and Singletary's certainly not as good at doing it as Saquon was.
I just would like to see him get somebody out in front of him, right? I mean, nothing. I mean, honestly, we could all hate Kelsey, but that cat could pull. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just
very
like,
good.
You know, put somebody out in front of him.
Well, the other thing too is with the Cowboys' speed they have on that D line, it's a risk trying to pull too because a guy will just shoot right through where the pulling lineman left, and then he's going to break up the play. So that could have been into that as well.
It would have to be. It would have to be if you're running to the left, you got to use the left guard. You can't be. You're right. We don't have enough time to be doing right side to left. That's not going to work.
Yeah, and I don't know if we have the speed to do it. But I'm just making a point because you're the lineman, so you see value in it being, you know, and we've seen it in the NFL, but we don't see it with the Giants. And again, Dave's didn't do a whole lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Adjustments. So, all right, Alex, we have this QB that everybody hates, polarizing guy. Half the fan base is confused.
Probably a nice guy though. Probably a nice guy.
Yep.
That's why he's still here.
Yep. Well, he's here because he won a playoff game in 2022. That's why.
And Mara. He called Mara on the phone.
He said, "Hey, man,
I want to be here, but they're not willing to pay me." Mara,
you kind of emulate Eli, so don't you worry, son. I got you 40 minutes.
You went to that camp one time.
Yeah,
that's right.
And you know what's crazy too is that like his money now, after these other cats got paid, like Dak and Hurts and Lawrence, his money looks pretty affordable right now, right? You know, Cousins got paid. Some of these cats got paid. So, Alex, starting with you, I thought Jones played well, not well enough to lose. I started off the show saying the same thing is like, you know, he missed 3 throws, but those 3 throws, one of those 3 throws probably would have won you the game. And, you know, you just need. I don't love Jones. I don't hate Jones, but I needed him to make one play. You know what I mean? I needed him to make one play.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I thought he played well.
I mean, he played cool except for like the 3 times where I felt like that could have been a difference. I don't know if you guys are doing the same thing. I'm just in purgatory right now. This is just this season. I don't know how this is gonna go, but like he's not our guy next year. We know that now.
Mm-hmm.
We've decided that, and so it's like still fuck it up 100%. And he didn't. I wouldn't say that Daniel Jones was the sole reason we lost.
No,
he contributed.
Collective effort.
Don't be the reason we lose for the rest of the season, and then I can be like, okay, well, you were serviceable. I think at this point, that is what we got. Eventually, he's gonna hit a deep ball. He hasn't through 4 weeks yet. Eventually, he's gonna hit that, and that's gonna be sick.
Jay's got a good comment, but I'm not gonna put it on the screen because he's an ass. Go ahead, Spartan. What's your thought about Jones? Because Alex has got a point. Like, yeah, seems like he's gonna get there sooner or later. We needed it. We needed it on Thursday. And then, like, you think about the rest of the game, and you're like, he played pretty good, but when you needed him, he wasn't there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, when you look at, like, we were driving, and he was playing fine in those regards. You know, no turnovers, a couple close calls, but, you know, no turnovers. And he actually, some of his like ratings are pretty high, but that's because he does execute these simple assignments pretty consistently. Especially now with our new equipped wide receiver room. I mean, when it comes to the short routes, I mean, he executes these. But yeah, what you kind of need is, you know, you get to the scoring range, you got to find a way to strike. And look, I mean, this is nothing new on Jones. Alex, I'm with you, because we know the Giants are moving on at the end of this year. Like, it's pretty much inevitable. Like, I don't really think about it too much. Obviously, though, there's a wide range of views amongst Giants fans on Twitter from, you know, well, we got to see what we can do with more talent. I mean, there's people still saying that. And then there's people that are like, you know, we're losing because of him. And that's not true. Craig, you saw my tweet today where I said, you know, we're not losing because of Jones. We're just not winning because of Jones. We can win games with Jones there. We're just not going to win games because of him. So listen, it kind of is what it is at this point. He plays fine, serviceable football. He doesn't make clunky screw-ups too often. The Minnesota game was a struggle, and he played fine against Dallas compared to normal, and obviously he had more time to enable that to happen. But, you know, we know what we got in the kid. I don't lose sleep over it. The Giants were, you know, they would have moved on and upgraded a quarterback if they felt they had the right guy, and I'm glad they didn't make that jump this past offseason if they didn't feel like that was the case. So it just is what it is. You know, onwards. I don't even try to debate them, but of course I put a tweet out there that wasn't even a debate. It's like, this is what Jones is. He's not losing these games for the Giants. He's also not like, he's not the guy, and we know that at this point. I can get so much traction underneath those tweets because it's such a controversial subject amongst Giants fans, right? Yeah. It's crazy.
What was crazy is, like, with the Jaden Daniels stuff, everybody's like, and the Giants didn't even take this guy. It's like, the Giants
had no chance. There's no pathway.
They would have had to pick second, and the Commanders aren't trading the second overall pick to a division rival. They're not going to do that.
And we saw it on Hard Knocks. They would have if they had a pathway. They didn't.
Yeah, but like, that was just like the basic bitch instinct for a lot of people. It was like, they should have James Daniels. They got a receiver instead. It's like, well, we picked sixth. So
right. Tommy DeVito, we couldn't get Jaden Daniels. Stop complaining.
Actually, it spiraled after that. See, Shane's even son knows that you should draft
I saw that too. It's like, well,
okay,
if it was Shane's
he
son,
wasn't
then
there.
I don't know how good our team would be. Not anything against him. I'm sure he's a great kid, but like, I don't want him being my GM.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny watching him, though. He's like, Jesus, Dad, do not yet.
Just do it. You only get one chance.
He just looked like a stereotypical bratty kid like that. How big of an idiot can you possibly be? If you don't get Jaden Daniels tonight, you're gonna blow this.
Stay with me here. Stay with me here with what I'm about to say for 1 or 2 minutes.
Wrap it in.
Here we go. So first thing, I'm gonna start with a negative. You cannot underthrow a receiver on a free play. That cannot happen.
Really good point.
Cannot happen at all. Don't care. Now,
never.
We say this. Jones, 1 week, overthrows receivers. Then he underthrows receivers.
Yep.
The one thing Jones was great at was throwing, or I shouldn't say great, but good at, was throwing the freaking deep ball. He has improved on everything else that he has sucked at over the last couple of years. Now he can't throw the friggin' deep ball.
Yeah, it's about timing.
Totally off. Maybe the neck injury, maybe the ACL, maybe those two things combined are throwing off his timing with the deep ball. So be it. Now, having said this, we're having a different conversation if Slayton catches the 2-point conversion, if the Washington game, the Nabers pass doesn't go incomplete on 4th and 2. If Slayton doesn't drop the ball against the Cowboys, if WanDale doesn't drop the ball against the Cowboys, and if, by the way, that 4th down throw to Nabers against the Cowboys was a hell of a play. He avoided the sack.
He did.
He rolled around, rolled to his
That's
left,
on him.
threw a dime to the right on the sideline where only Nabers could catch it. The catch didn't happen. But again, his short passes have been good. His accuracy, whatever it was. But again, he threw a perfect ball to WanDale Robinson, who
Got to catch with your hands.
dropped it. And if he catches it, he's running for at least another 15 yards. The conversation changes. Again, let me be clear. I don't want Jones back next year. However, the things that he needed to improve on, he has, and he can't do the one thing he was good at. Make that make sense. Somebody explain that to me.
Yeah.
Alex, you're the weird one. Make it make sense.
Okay, so he's overthrown, he's underthrown. We're due for a right on point game. So maybe Seattle Sunday, it's like, oh shit, we figured it out.
He's like, okay, I started off long and I tried short.
You're just figuring it out.
Maybe I should try in the
What
middle.
if I do it right in between what I did? And then it just hits them, and then they're in stride, and they score a touchdown. And then we do that, and that's all we do, and that's our offense. How awesome would that be?
There we go. And by the way, we're playing a receiver who has a bad thumb. What is one of the most important fingers that you need to catch a ball in the NFL?
The only reason humans have been able to succeed in anything, man.
Right. I say that to say this, is that second throw to Slayton, that was all.
Don't even get me started, dude.
It wasn't a great throw, but you gotta catch it.
Get me
How
started.
many times do we see receivers that play against the Giants make that catch?
How does he get paid? If you look at that play, he has both hands under the ball. There is no.
That's what I mean. You gotta go like this.
For him
like
to
this,
catch
whatever
the
side he
ball.
was going to.
Yeah.
Now, but that's not even the throw I'm talking about. I'm talking about the second deep ball to him. Was not a great throw, but he's got to make that catch.
You're an NFL receiver. Make the catch, dude.
Exactly. Because, again, right. So, again, drops have been big in big situations, which I'm going to say this. We do not have players, as great as the players that we have and as great as they're playing throughout the game, the last several years, we do not have players that in big-time moments make big-time plays. Some of that's young. Some of that is because we haven't had talent over the years. But that is what we're lacking. That is what is, and this goes quarterback, receiver, running back, and defense. We need big-time plays and big-time moments, and we do not have that yet. That, my friends, is on the players because, I talk about coaching a lot. That is on the players.
By the way, Victor Cruz stepped out of nowhere and was a big-time player. Like, there's no one that makes plays. You have to play, and this was my point, kind of going with what Spartan was saying. Not one player on the New York Giants roster, not one. I don't care what you guys are telling me. Nobody plays above the X's and O's.
Right.
Everyone just does their job. Some do it well, some do it great.
They're going through the motions.
Yeah. Now, look, I'm not killing Nabers. The dude is the best receiver we've had since Beckham, right? But I said the coaches need to work with him because those 2 4th down plays that he went to catch the ball, he both body catches, right? Like the dude's too talented for that. They need to catch. He's got to use his hands. Or Slayton with his hand under the ball instead of one on hand on top. Like there's so many things that, like, I ask myself, how do these guys not know how to do that? Somebody needs to play above the X's and O's. Somebody needs to make a sick catch. Somebody needs to break a tackle. Like once in a while, I see WanDale and Nabers break a tackle, and you're like, good, maybe that'll catch on. Maybe that'll catch on. Someone will make a play, but it doesn't happen. Like no one plays above the X's and O's. It's always just going to be, this is what we have. And in those teams, like you can name the guys, Talk, Strahan, JPP, Antrell Roll, Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, Ahmad Bradshaw. They played above the X's and O's. They wanted to make some badass play. Look at me. We don't have that.
I think we do. I think that it's still in a
Or is it?
working process. I think Nabers absolutely has it in
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He's a rookie. And I think WanDale Robinson had so many, like, how many times did he spin out of a tackle and then he almost got, like, I mean, he didn't always cash in on it, but like Wandale's got the talent to do all
Oh, no,
that
they're
stuff. You just
they're
gotta be
right
able to
there.
put it together.
They're just
Yeah.
not doing it at the right time. They're like, again, that he does
Yeah.
it all game and then he
I
drops
think
it.
eventually you
big-time
will,
moment.
though. And
That-
I mean,
I agree.
I'm not giving up on Wandale yet. And I
No,
think
no,
no.
Malik's
Hey.
only going to be the best
I'm
receiver
not-
in the league eventually.
I don't want you to think I'm giving up. But Sean, say what you just said.
We
That was
need
the best point.
players to make this. What is Dion or whoever I said? Big time players make big time plays and big time moments. We're not getting that right now.
Third
That's
and
it.
8, 2-minute drive. We're not executing those. We're finding ways to go up.
WanDale and Nabers are just crushing it. They look great. And whether you hate them or you love them, there is some pretty good chemistry between Jones, Nabers, and WanDale right now. But when you need that one freaking play, it's a drop or it's a bad throw.
Well, I'll tell you
Or-
what, it is
Or a
promising to
missed
see it
tackle.
fighting in all these games, right? I mean, it's probably even these games we lose. It's like, I hate to say it, and because Craig, I know we don't root for our team to lose. We will never do that. But I do turn off my TV after that loss. I'm like, well, we're in a better position to draft a quarterback at the end of it, so I can live with that and just walk away, go to bed, breathe a little bit easier at night.
Was
Well-
what Colin Coward did? Colin Coward was like the bones are there, and his
The
like
bones
I
are
hate
there, and I
Colin
agree with
Coward
it.
with a passion, but like that was maybe the most like together I felt like he has been in a minute where I was like, okay, maybe I'm just crazy and delusional now. I'm like, Colin's making a good point. So I don't
No,
know.
Alex, I agree. And can I make a very controversial point? This is going to be very controversial.
Uh-oh.
Go
Because
on.
I'm not
Okay.
even mad right
Yeah,
now.
let's hear it.
I actually think this team is more well-rounded than the 2022 team that went to the playoffs. We're just not finding ways to win games.
I don't
Okay.
hate that take.
I agree with that. I've said
I
that.
don't
I
think
agree
at
with
all.
you on that. I think it is
More
top
talent, right?
roster-wise.
More
Yeah,
talent.
talent.
We have so
Yeah, more
much there.
talent, less holes. Obviously, we don't have Saquon, but like we do have bones in place that, like, I'll just say this: like, if a rookie quarterback came in last year and played, their career would have been over the minute they stepped on the field. Right now, we can sufficiently facilitate and handle a rookie quarterback. They still need pieces, maybe tight end in the long run. Yeah, another wide receiver that can, show down. But we do have the bones for them. And then on defense, there's things to fix. We're
So
not
much
getting
stuff
lit
there,
up.
though. But then, like, if you look at the Patriots right now, where like they just sat Drake May, and as you watch more Patriots games, you're like, oh well, that's just because Drake May would have died on the field because he would have just been sacked to death. And they were like, Jacoby Brissett, please become our sacrificial lamb and just die this season. And they're just like, we're gonna get you sacked 100 times a game. You're just gonna have to stand out there and just get beat up. And he does it. But like the Giants would have been that for anybody that we've brought in at all until this season.
And if you think about it, we're 3 throws, better quarterback play, and possibly a kicker away from being 3-1 right now.
That's crazy.
We got the bones, guys. We got the bones.
The problem is the quarterback infiltrates the thought of the entire roster.
No,
Because
I
it's
don't
only
disagree.
3 throws, right? You would think it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal.
Because our quarterback sucks, the whole team sucks. That's what people are missing. Our roster's not good. We can't win. It's really, people are fed up and tired of Jones. And I can't say I blame them, but to say we don't have a better roster, to Alex's point, that we had, or Spartan's point, in 2022, we absolutely do. Top to bottom, talent-wise. Our worst player now is better than what our worst player was in 2022.
1,000%.
We just got to get the wins. We have to get the wins. And right now we're not getting them. We're a young team that's not making the plays at the right moment. And until that happens, we're not going to win games.
Right.
Put the trash thing up, the cash for trash for the Jays take, because that's not true at all.
Where I'm looking for it, where is it?
Tyrod.
I think the one, that's
Because that's a 0. That's not true at all.
I can't. Where is it, Alex?
the
That's
last
his
one
last
there.
comment.
Yeah.
Not true.
No, I'm not putting
One
that up
bit.
there.
Tyrod would have got sacked once. He would have been out for the rest of the season with like a fractured lung
Listen,
or whatever
because
it is.
nobody
Tyrod has
does-
freak injuries.
Yeah, Alex, please go for it, dude. Tell them that Tyrod Taylor has not completed a full season since 2016. You people are smoking crack.
I think Tyrod's a solid backup. You just know that he can't get hit. Don't let him get hit, or else he's out. And that's,
by the way,
and I like Tyrod. I would rather have Tyrod than Drew Lock, but
I would take Tyrod over. I would take Tyrod over Drew Lock any day.
Yeah, but Tyrod really is only good at throwing the deep ball, and that's why this team, because everybody still thinks you got to only throw the deep ball. Granted, you have to take the shots when they're there. You have to make the shots when they're there. But the league is taking away the deep ball. And Tyrod is only good at the deep ball.
80% of the deep ball is pass interference.
Yeah.
And then illegal man downfield. Has that been the most other than pass interference? I feel like I was watching the Texans game yesterday. There were like 37 illegal man downfield. And I was like, you got five yards, but like how far are they downfield where it's like, what are we doing?
All right, let me keep moving. Last Titus to put a bow on this, guys. Spartan, you got anything for fantasy football year number 2? Like, how you doing? How's your team?
I got one thing to say. I'm in first place again, once again undefeated. You guys got to step up your game, man. I'm just taking you all to the cleaners.
All right, do you by any chance have it in front of you? Can you pull it up?
Yeah, I got it up right now.
Pull it up, and for us. And while he's doing that, Alex, here's your pick 'em. You got 30 seconds to rant about something. Go.
Oh, damn. Illegal shifts and ineligible man downfield. Figure it out, refs. Every game shouldn't be a fucking ref show. And I feel like all of the games are becoming that, where you're seeing some crazy run that gets taken away because of some ticky-tack thing, or
the wrong face mask.
We call a face mask with the wrong team, and we can pick up a flag when there were 87 flags in the play. We can't be like, oh, actually, we were idiots, and we can look at that. I think Brandon Walker, Barstool Sports, was talking about it today, where he was like, why can't we just have officials that are like, look, we don't know. We do not know what to call on the field. We're going to go to the tape. We're going to go look at the thing. Like you don't have to make a call. If you don't know what the call is, just say, we're going to go look at it. We're going to go look at it right now, because sometimes the call on the field has to stand unless there's indisputable evidence. No, it doesn't. Let's look at the replay. That's why we have it.
Sean, you got 30 seconds. Give me your rant. Go.
Stop trying to get Shane and Dayball fired. Stop. Stop. Just stop. We're 4 games in. Just stop. We went through hell with Shermer and Judge for 4 freaking years. Shane and Dayball are head and shoulders better than what Gettleman and freaking
Reese.
Everybody, well, not Reese. Reese at the end, yes. But Shane has taken our draft process out of the freaking Stone Ages. Like, just stop this whole, the year 3 and everybody to turn around. But stop it.
We don't have
4 to 5 years. They get 4 to 5 years. 4 to 5 years.
And also, can people stop acting like every draft pick is supposed to be a hit? You got to realize a successful draft is 2 to 3.
It takes 2 to 3 years for players to develop. It takes 2 to 3 years for players to develop.
Spartan, you're up. You got 30 seconds. Rant. Go.
No, everyone's got to step up and try to beat me at fantasy. Bill, I know you're beating me right now, but I am projected to win once my players finish up Monday Night Football tonight. That's all I have to say. For the Giants, listen, the bones are there. I'm not all that mad. Just, whether we find ways to win or we don't, there's a consolation prize if we do not. So just take that in mind, but don't ever hope for your team to lose. That's really loser-esque.
And my rant is, every year a quarterback pops. Don't just run away with, this guy's great, that guy's great. Like, actually maybe watch them play. Right now, everybody's a Miami Hurricane fan all of a sudden. 2 weeks ago, everybody's a Sanders fan. You guys don't even watch them play. All I'm asking is this. Watch them play, because here's the thing. I looked it up today, and I looked at the top 7 quarterbacks. They're all literally have the same exact stats, and half the schedule is garbage, right? The first 3 games of the season are absolutely crud.
Yeah, so if you took on Monroe State and you balled out and got 400 yards, I really don't care.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, you can see the calendar is getting harder, right? Harder. Yeah. But I can't sit here and tell you that Ward's the guy, Dart's the guy. I can't tell you Sanders is the guy or Beck's the guy.
Maybe Beck's not the guy.
4 games and they've played garbage.
Definitely not the guy.
Who?
Beck is definitely not the guy.
I don't want Beck.
But here's the thing.
I know.
But it doesn't matter, because according to the world, they're just like, well, he's on one of the power teams, Alabama, Georgia, right? Oh, it's got to be. Like, look, watch these guys play. Stop watching YouTube highlights and watch a game, right? Or look what they do well, right? Right now, honestly, to me, and this is the end of my rant, is I don't see one guy better than the other guy. I see a bunch of really good guys beating up on some really bad teams. All right. That's all I see right now. And listen, my kid's a big dart guy. I have no idea if Dart's the guy. I think he's fun and exciting, right? But I don't know if he's the guy. I don't know if Sanders is the guy. I don't know if Ward's the guy, right? Alex. So, it might
Also,
be.
everybody watches one game, or like Milrow or the dude for Bama. It's like they hear like one, like, oh my God, he's the guy, and he just had like one game. He hasn't even started.
I
like,
watched
games.
Ward.
Granted, he went against Georgia. That was pretty impressive.
I watched Ward play at Incarnate Word against Sam Houston, like when he played FCS football before he transferred to Washington State. And I was like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Watching him at the FCS level, and it's cool seeing him doing that for Miami. But like, I'm kind of biased just because I saw him once, so I'm like, I'm in on.
No, that's cool. I just want people to actually every year
You gotta watch
top.
And look look at what they're doing against who they're doing against. Don't just look at the stats. Again,
Yes.
Beck played awful against Bama. Should have had 7 interceptions easily that game. Milrow played great against a really good defense. That's good. Ward struggled against a Virginia Tech, which is the best team they've played so far this season. So watch who they're doing it against. Great point, Craig.
Yeah. That's just it. Because like I said, I was really disappointed that Ole Miss lost to Kentucky this year. And then I started looking how good Kentucky is. They're literally losing or winning by 1 point. That's a really good team out there, because I thought Ole Miss was going to run away with it this year. And watching Dart lose was really disappointing, but he had a good game. That still doesn't mean, he's going to win the Heisman or he's going to be the guy. But I just wish people would just pay attention and stop listening to what everybody says. Oh, it's Ward. It's definitely Ward. It's got to be Ward. No, it doesn't have to be Ward. I mean, or Beck. It doesn't have to be Beck. So anyway, Spartan. So anybody give us the list. Who's doing what in fantasy?
Right now, I got to go by fantasy names. So, and by the way, it is not over right now. I mean, Bill could very well beat me here. I literally just lost the sheet. Shoot. Craig, we're going to have to call it a show, and I'll give you an update next week.
Boo, Spartan. Okay.
Post it on Twitter, Spartan. Post it on Twitter.
Yeah, post it on Twitter. I want to see everybody's team name out there and who's doing what. Cole's got a great point. Oh, wait, Bill's coming in with another one.
Hey!
Captain Zebras, the flag on
That's
belly.
funny.
I know, man. That was.
By the way, more people should listen to Cold because he does know football. He doesn't speak a lot, but people
He
should
knows
listen
football.
to him.
Dude, Cole's the man.
Cold knows football. So I'm just
Yeah.
putting it out there, Cold. I'm giving you a shout out, man. He knows football, so more people should listen. He's like E.F. Hutton. More people should listen to him when he speaks.
Yep. No, Cole. Listen, Cole's an OG too. So no, and it is what it is, right? That's all I'm asking is just either watch the games, and then make a decision. Right now, you guys are all pining away for Ward. 2 weeks ago, you were pining away for Sanders. Like I'm just like, yo, you guys make me sick after a while. I'm like, nobody knows who they are. Nobody. But no, appreciate you, Cold. And everybody that popped in tonight. The show is going to be at 7:30. We're trying to get you guys back to Monday Night Football. Thanks for tuning in. And Sean, you want to show off that shirt one more time? Dude, that looks really good. Oh, yeah. Sweet mama. And then next week, Alex will have his on. Oh, yeah. Spartan doesn't have one because Spartan refuses to give me a size.
Craig agreed to ship me one as soon as his earliest convenience.
For
free.
Giants would never draft Sanders. It's not true, dude. I don't want Sanders because of his dad and the drama that's attached to him. But
they were going to draft Dane Daniels. So yeah.
Wait, hang on. What's Cold saying? Hang on, wait. He just had something. Like little kids, the new toys are cool. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, and you know what, Cold? It may turn out that Ward's the guy or Sanders is the guy, right? But just
Sanders not Ward,
like listening to it, like Alex, listening through it all week long. I'm just like, man, it's killing me. Just let these guys play. Let's see what they
Sanders bandwagon. I liked him at Jackson State. He does a lot of good things.
Look at that.
He's
Look at Ward.
He can't wear 7.
Right. Just Joe Shane, just get it right. Don't screw this up.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't care who they draft. Right? Yeah, just give me anybody. I'm not pulling for one guy, but
draft me a Super Bowl champ.
And again, for the record, I said there would be 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round last year.
Dude,
How many quarterbacks were drafted in the first round last year?
quarterback play is
Man.
down everywhere. These guys are all going one. Everyone that you got on that top.
There'll be 3. There'll be 3 this season.
I'm telling you, there's going to be more.
That's it.
I think, Sean, there's going to be more because of how desperate these teams are. Anyway, wrapping this up. Appreciate you guys. Always a pleasure. Bang. We're here 7:30 going on. All 5'10" of me is going to be here next Monday. I don't know. Couple of these guys we'll have back. Today I just dropped them all in here to talk about, our Giants. Hopefully we can get a win against Seattle. It is not easy to play in Seattle. And just in case you guys know, we do not have a good record in Seattle. We do not win up there. So we're hoping for a little bit of something different. We'll see you guys. Don't forget the preview show, Rush Hour with Christian Truth, is this week on, pretty sure it's Wednesday, but they do move that sucker. So peace out. Bang. See you guys next week. Later.
Later, guys.
See you guys.